Welcome back to Gamification. The title today is Linking Rewards to Behavior Change. My name is Nazrin. I am your professional learning facilitator for today, and I am not Cambodian. I do work in Cambodia about every 2 months. I'll be here for a week, but I am based in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur, and currently I am married with 5 children. So my full-time job actually I would say father. That'll be my full-time job, and learning facilitator is my part-time job. So I work with the capacity specialists here in Cambodia, and what we do is we serve a lot of clients, especially L&D, in their learning and development space. We provide workshops for their leadership, for their management. We help them to understand what they need in order to grow, what their people need in order to grow, whether it be work skills, so what kind of training they need, whether it be upskilling, what kind of new knowledge they need, or engagement. So what kind of interventions we can have to help them improve their working conditions or their working culture. So that's a little bit about me. If you want to know more, then feel free to ask questions in the text chat. All right, here we go. So let me ask you this question. For those of you who are here and they know something about this, please type into the text chat, what do you already know about gamification? I want everybody to type in something. What do you already know about gamification? Please type to the text chat now. Okay, he says nothing, all right? Very honest, thank you. Anyone else? No, nothing. So quite a few people have just dropped in. I want to know. I have no background. I've never heard this word before. Okay. Anybody else? A lot of no's. So Vantran says gamification of mobile applications. Okay, can you tell me what do you know about gamification on mobile apps? What does it do? What is it for?
So with that, you know, the specialists in the company need to outsource a provider so that they can use application from outside, and they can install the applications to use for, you know, internal employees for the programs.
Okay, so where does the concept of gamification come in there?
Turning learning in the format of gamifications. So it's like the combination of learning and then reviewing, and with consolidation, or we can say competition, a little bit of competition in there.
Okay, well done. Thank you very much. That was a good one. So you do know something about it. You might be able to help me with this topic then.
Hopefully, but I want to learn more. Yeah.
Let's give you a bit of a taster, right? So the best way to learn something is to actually do it. I'm going to show you a picture. So everyone, I'm going to show you a picture. Please type into the text chat. I'll give you 30 seconds. There are 6 hidden words here. Type into the text chat the hidden words that you see. You have 30 seconds. Ready, set, go. Six words. You need to find 6 words. Okay, 10 seconds to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, well done. Let's see what you have and what is actually. Do you see that? What word is that? That's book. B-O-O-K. Let's see the next one. So those, a lot of you got or, O-R, but that's actually story, S-T-O-R-Y. How about this one? Anybody got this one? Words. How about this one? It's page. Next one, novel, N-O-V-E-L. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last one is here. Somebody actually got that read. So if you got that, give yourselves a round of applause. Well done. Let's go to the second one. 30 seconds, ready, set, go. Somebody got storm, good. Somebody got puddle. Quite a few people got puddle. 15 seconds to go. Five, four, three, two, one. Well done. Somebody got showers, puddle, storm. How? All right, let's see what we have here. So, wow, did you see that? So unless you're using this on your laptop, if you're using it on your phone, I don't think you caught that. You see clouds? Definitely storm. Definitely puddle. Anybody catch this one? Wet. Showers. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's the last one? It's right here. Damp. So unless unless your screen brightness is really ramped way up high, you won't be able to see that. Okay. Last one. 30 seconds. Ready, set, go. I'm going to give you a bit more time. 20 seconds. Five, four, three, two, one. All right, well done. Let's see what we missed. Anybody catch frost? Anybody catch this one? Ice. We have mittens. We have snow. We have boots. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anyone catch the last one? Yes, somebody actually got chill. All right. So now that you have experienced this, just like you would have as a student or a participant in a class, I want you to type into the text chat, what do you feel? What do you think when you do this? Please tell me now. Thank you, Emily. She says fun. Anything else, guys? And says fun, but very short time. All right. A lot of good answers here. I know there are more people here. I don't hear from them. So I would like to hear from you. Okay, well done. Thank you for your answers. We're going to talk about your answers a little bit later. For now, I would like you to find, is anybody on their phones? If you're on your phone, please type in Y. Are you on your phones? Please type in Y. Only one person. Okay, I need help. 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 My battery is dying. It's not good. It's gonna die. It's gonna die. It's gonna die now. surviving for now. Okay. Sorry about that. Had a bit of an issue. Okay, so if you are on your laptop or on your phone, if this is your first time on Zoom, I would like you to explore a little bit. Can you draw on this screen? I want you to look at your toolbar and find where you can use to draw on the screen. Find a pencil, like this. How many people can do this? Answer no? Okay. All right. No problem. It should be right where your microphone, where your video, your share button is. Okay, no worries. In that case, let me just do this for you. Okay. What you experienced just now when you said, let me scroll back to what you said. Some people said it was, where are those words? Oh, fun. So Emily said fun, and said fun but very short time. Bertrand said feel very excited. Vanessa says my childhood game. Ian says concentrate, find carefully, capture my focus. Now, let's go to one person first. Emily, can you explain to me what did you mean by fun? And I know it seems like a simple word, but tell me why it was fun for you. You can type into the text chat or you can turn on your microphone and share with us. Why was it fun for you? Okay, go ahead. While Emily is typing, we can go ahead and ask Anne. You said fun but very short time. You sound a bit frustrated. Can you tell me what was going on and why? Fun because good times, okay. It was something you enjoyed doing. Good. How about Anne? Not enough time to find words. Did that frustrate you? Did that you know, like why is Nazrin giving me only 30 seconds? I wanted to find all of the words. Is that what you felt? Oh, a little bit nervous. Okay. Thank you. So we had Vandran who says feel excited. Tell me why. Tell me what made you feel excited about it. And Vida Sophia says my childhood game. PND says concentrate. On some says find carefully. Everyone, please tell us a bit more about your answers.
Well, the word itself is being here. The word itself is concentrate. I have to follow your instruction to find the words. So I have to be very focused to do my job.
Okay. So everything that is happening there with everyone, it was the same activity, but did you notice it affected people differently? And this is what gamification does with you, right? That's what games and gamification do. Everybody has a different response, which means that there is potential to use it in learning. There's potential to use it in changing behavior. There's also potential in using it to reward people. And why does it work? It's because basically human beings have 8 human drives. And this is amazing to me because not only can you use it in the organization, you can also use it at home with your family, with your husbands, with your wives, with your friends, because it basically tells you that when you boil a human being down into why they want something, right? Why they want something, It's because of these 8 things. Of course, there are millions of things, but you can categorize them into 8 basic things. The first one is unpredictability. Why do people do things? They do something because they cannot predict the outcome. So if you don't give people enough information, for example, then they start to panic, or they start to worry. So they tend to move away from unpredictability. How can you use this? Well, if you understand that people don't like unpredictability, they like predictability, then you can design games and gamification. You can design activities in your organization to improve predictability. How does that work? Well, if you want to attract good staff, you want your staff to stay and not leave the organization, then you have to ask yourself, is there too little information that we're giving them about a change that we're doing? We're implementing a new system in the organization. If you understand that it makes people feel nervous, am I going to get fired? Am I going to be moved around? So unpredictability here means that they might worry, or they might start looking for other jobs. So if you understand this concept as a basic concept, not even from gamification, just as a basic human resource concept, you can reduce the predictability of people. They will want to achieve something based on that. The other one is accomplishment. So some people are accomplishment driven. That means you put a goal in front of them, you put a challenge in front of them, they will do their best to get it done. If you've ever gone for training before, you will notice that some people in the classroom, they are just go-getters. There's no reward, no prize, no money, but the trainer says, okay, get this done within 30 seconds. Bam, 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 they'll go and get it done. So there are some people whose drive, their human drive is accomplishment. They move towards accomplishment. There are also people who move away from unpredictability. This is it sits on the same axis, it sits on the same line, on the same spectrum. So if you find that you have people who are very gung-ho, very accomplishment oriented, then you can use this to dangle it in front of them. If you have people who are more unpredictability oriented, then you can reduce that to make it more predictable. When we look at the next one, which is scarcity and empowerment, people use this all the time in sales, right? So how do people get you to buy something? They say, well, there's only 5 left. Come now or you will not get it at all. When you look at the other end, it's empowerment. Empowerment is you are in control of your skills, your behaviors, of what you want to do in your life. Avoidance and meaning. There are some people who they tend to move away from risk, and they move towards something that is something that attracts them. While other people, they do things because of the meaning behind it. So if you ask people who work in NGOs or charities, they don't mind the risk, they don't mind the low pay, as long as they get to do something purposeful, something that makes sense to them, that gives their life purpose. And then we talk about social influence and ownership. So ownership is the ability to actually not just achieve something, but be proud of something. So ownership and accomplishment sit right next to each other because they're quite similar. But ownership is about being proud of that accomplishment, and social influence is about being respected, being someone who is able to communicate with other people. So when you ask yourself about your friends, your family members, your colleagues, do you see that some people are driven by accomplishment in their jobs? Do you see that some people are driven by avoidance? Why do you take this job? Well, because I don't want to do any other kind of work that keeps me away from my children. I don't want to do any kind of work that's too far away from my house. So instead of being accomplishment oriented and saying, yep, I don't mind the hours, I don't mind the work, I don't mind the travel, as long as I get to achieve this. So you ask yourself, which one drives you the most? And type into the text chat. What do you think drives you the most? You can choose 2. When trying to give a very straightforward answer already for a previous question, because I felt like I'm competing with the others. So Venn translates meaning and accomplishment. Okay, well done. That sort of confirms your answer. Philosophy says social influence. Ian says ownership and accomplishment. Okay, Zam says accomplishment and social influence. Tepi says meaning and ownership. Okay, thank you for that. So my question to you, and if you're willing to answer this for me, why do you think that is true? Can you explain that about yourself without going into too much P&C information about your personal life? Can you tell us a little bit about why you think that's true? So type into the text chat, please. So either they are very long sentences being typed in, or people are still thinking about it. Okay. So Tepi says, because I know I'm doing that. So do you come from an NGO, Tepi? Is that right? Okay. So you know what I'm talking about. So he said, I like to complete my goals, my tasks. Does it make you feel proud, Ian, that you get it done on time as per request? I feel good completing my job. Good. Okay. Anyone else want to answer? Feeling good. All right. Thank you very much. Feel free to continue answering. We will come back to you later. Now that you understand the concept of 8 human drives, let's take a look at a little bit of what we did just now. I skipped over a particular activity because we couldn't do the drawing. The first one we did was games. Games are things like chess, things like football, things like well, any particular game or sport that you play is played for fun and excitement. Sometimes for competition, but in most cases it's just, you know, let's do something interesting. That's what we call a game. When we come into the education line, we talk about game-based learning. Now, what does game-based learning mean? It means that you use games to convey a meaning or a purpose or a message. How many times have you heard things like this from your friends, right? When I was very young, my mother sent me to play piano. I studied piano. I studied music. And they say things like this: music has taught me so much about life. Or a friend of yours would have played football, would have been an athlete, and he says things like, I learned how to become very positive, how to become an achiever from football, from sports, from running. If you've ever heard things like that. Also, if you watch martial arts movies like Karate Kid, you watch all the Kung Fu movies from China, it almost always has the hero on a path of learning. So he studies martial arts and he learns something about himself, he learns something about life. So what's the difference between learning football and then learning from football? That's the difference between games and game-based learning. So originally the game does not teach you anything, but if you are guided, in this case by your coach, by your teacher, by your martial arts instructor, and as you are learning this, as it goes along, they teach you ethics, good manners, they teach you about how to apply martial arts in real life, right? So they say things like, when you are playing football, you need to really plan how to get to the goal. That is strategic thinking. When you see obstacles come, right, you will face different players before you get to the goal. You need to figure out how to use tactics to be able to get through. So when even in real life, you will have challenges. Now, are those games? Were those games built to create this kind of meaning? No, they were not. They were originally created to get fun and excitement. But remember this, it is the teacher or the coach or the instructor who starts that process. And if they are good coaches, they are good trainers, good teachers, that process continues inside their heads and they start teaching themselves based on what they play, what they do. So if you're already an adult, if you're already above, say, you're already graduated from university, this process should happen on a daily basis, where you can actually teach yourself something based on something that you've learned. So whenever you go for training, you should be able to capture learning on your own. Whatever games the trainer gets you to play, they will always do a debrief at the end. What did you learn from this game? It was you playing the game. Therefore, game-based learning is nothing more than just playing a game and then debriefing. How can you connect this to what you do at work? How can you connect this to your relationships with your family? How can you connect this with your relationship with yourself, right? How you discipline yourself. And you'll hear things from participants, from people who go for training, and say, this game has taught me a lot about myself. Yes, I don't manage my time very well. Yes, I set goals, but then I don't achieve them, because it shows me that I don't have the capacity to plan well or manage my time well. So that's game-based learning. What is gamification? Gamification is a bit more complex than that. Instead of taking a game and then debriefing that game, gamification looks into deeper psychology. And one of these ways is using the 8 human drives. The 8 human drives was introduced by Yu Kai Chow, an expert in gamification. We'll send you these slides, and you can search for his ebook. If you sign up to his website, Yu Kai Chow's website, he'll give you a free ebook that tells you everything about what I'm introducing to you today. So there are many ways of doing this. One easiest way is the 8 drives, 8 human drives. So gamification here is applying game theory to modify behavior. What does that mean? Well, let me give you an example. If you were ever bribed by your parents to do something, okay, if you sweep the lawn, then I will let you watch this cartoon and stay up late tonight. So this is how you link rewards to behavior. Rewards can also mean punishment. And if you think about it, HR does this all the time. They have their carrot and their stick, right? So the idea is this: if you do this according to how I want you to do it, then you will get a reward. So think about it. All organizations already do this as by default, right? If you do your job well, you will get a raise. You do your job well, you get a bonus. But here's the problem. Not everybody is interested in money. Not everybody is interested in promotions. There are quite a few people who have stopped getting promoted and they are perfectly happy where they are. I've met these people, I've coached them, and I asked them, why don't you want to go for that promotion? And they say, well, if I go for that promotion, I will have less time with my children. I'll be traveling more. At this point in my life, I'm perfectly happy here, right? The salary I get is perfect for what my family needs. Therefore, I don't want to be going any further. So there are people who are not accomplishment driven, right? They are unpredictability driven. They don't want the unpredictability of travel. They don't want the unpredictability of getting new jobs or staying late. They want to be able to plan their life. So you find that not everybody is accomplishment driven, right? So this is how you think about gamification in that way. You ask yourself, all right, since there are 8 different human drives, in my organization, you don't need to identify, right? It's going to be difficult to do that. In my organization, I need to have enough drivers to make sure that it caters to everybody. So you want to have carrots. If you've heard the term, I'm going to type into the text chat. This is a very old term, carrot and stick. Carrot basically means reward and stick means punishment. It comes from Europe, European English specifically, when in the olden days before we had cars, they had horses with carriages, and in order to get the horse to move forward, you either dangle a carrot on a stick in front of the horse, so the horse would follow the carrot, or you would whip the horse from the back using a stick, right? So the idea is you either use a benefit like a bonus or promotion, or you use punishment. And human resource departments, they know this very well. the policies in the organizations. This is what drives the organization. But here's the problem, right? Not everybody is intimidated by punishment. If you notice, some of your people, they don't care. They get punished. If you want to throw me out of the company, throw me out. I am driven by social influence. You might not like me, but I have a lot of influence in the company. And you know who these people are. They are the informal leaders. You have your formal leader, which is the manager, but inside the department, there is an informal leader, someone who actually has more influence than everybody else. So if you understand that this is the case, then you can actually motivate them based on what you see is their human drive. So that is the bigger concept, the bigger idea in terms of HR. How do we use it for gamification? Well, there are tools that we can use that are typical of games and gamification, right? So if you look at social influence or people who love getting conversations, you can use this tool called immediate feedback. Whenever they do something good, you immediately praise them and you immediately suggest an improvement. So some people, they go, okay, thank you for that. I didn't need that. Because people who are accomplishment oriented, for example, even if you praise them, they go, okay, thank you, but it has no impact on them whatsoever. But for example, people who are social influence oriented, they go, yes, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for that recognition. Thank you for saying that. I am now more motivated to do this work. So immediate feedback, the specific tool I would like to point out, when we see the word feedback, in organizations, it's sometimes a bad word, because feedback means I want to tell you what you're doing wrong. But in positive psychology, and this is changing everywhere around the world, where how managers give feedback, you need to actually tell them what they're doing well. So we're not saying praise them, we're saying catch them doing something right. I'm going to put this in, right? When you observe your people, you catch them doing something right. I know some people were asking, Nazrin, I thought you were talking about gamification. Where's the gamification? Well, gamification is not games. It's not gaming. It is the ability to understand how do you motivate people by giving them the right input. So what is the reward here? The reward is me telling you you're doing this well. It is not money. It is not bonus. It is not a letter. It is, I understand that you prefer that I talk to you. So let me share with you that I appreciate your reports. They are always typo free. I love that. Thank you very much. Whenever I see a report coming from you, I am very sure it will be typo free. So what happens? Will that behavior continue to be reinforced? Yes. They will continue to do that because they know what they're doing is right. Now this is critical. For those of you, I expect that you already know this, but if it's still not drilled in, let me send the message. On this planet, every time we do something wrong, people will tell us what we did wrong. We'll get scolded, our managers will come down hard on us. But when we do something right, everybody keeps quiet. And this happens so many times, it's not even funny anymore. So what does gamification got to do with this? Immediate feedback says that if you want to persuade someone, if you want to change the behavior of someone, you link it to what they are good at. Tell them what they're good at first. This is what we call the 2+1 method. In 2+1, you mention two things that you like about their performance. Okay, I'm going to use this word. Two things that you like about their performance. Not, oh, you look good today. Oh, you're such a handsome guy. That will run out very fast. It will not work very, very quickly. But if you talk only about their performance, how well they do their work, and very specific, you give two things that you like about their performance, and then you add on one suggestion for improvement. A suggestion for improvement is not an area of improvement. What's the difference? Let me tell you this. Let's just say, Anne, I don't know who you are, but maybe I can use your name as an example. Hopefully, I hope you're okay with that. What if I say to Anne, Anne, you need to improve your communication skills. What do you need to do? You have absolutely no idea what I want you to do. So that's what we call an area for improvement. You need to improve your public speaking skills. Again, you have no idea what to do. But if I were to say, and when you present in front of the board, I would like you to use more hand gestures, right? If you say 5 retail stores, I want you to use your hand and actually put up your hand and show 5 fingers. So if you give a suggestion for improvement, it is easier for them to pick up and run and do it. Now, the balance must be there. It must be 2 things that you like, 2 positives and 1 suggestion, not 2 positive and 30 suggestions. People change very slowly. So you need to give them the behavior change that you want to see very in piecemeal, very small pieces. All right, so I'm going to pause for a while. What questions do you have based on just that immediate feedback? What questions do you have just based on that? If you have no questions, type in an N, so I know to move on. If you have questions, then please type in the text chat now. Or turn on the microphone and ask me. Okay, so NN, everybody else is either thinking or ran away from the laptop or the phone. Okay. How many area are there? Well, there's many areas. What I'm saying, an area is, it's non-specific. So if I say to you, you need to improve your body language, do you know what you're supposed to do? You don't, because it's too big. So that's what we call an area. But if we give a suggestion for improvement, not an area for improvement, suggestion for improvement, I say, Tepi, when you present in front of the board, I would like you to use more hand gestures. Move your hands around more to indicate how much it has improved. So use your right hand to go up. Okay, we have increased our sales. And then use your left hand to go down and say, we have reduced our cost. That will get the message across faster. All right? Vendran, can you hear me now?
Okay, I would like to ask a question.
Okay, go ahead.
So talking about giving feedback, there's also another popular one that many people would know, that which is the sandwich technique.
Yes, the sandwich one. Bad news, good news, bad news, right?
Yes, yeah. Good news and then bad news and then good news. Okay, so from your explanations for the formula 2+1, I pretty much prefer this one to the sandwich technique, because for this one people would focus, the one who is receiving the feedback would be focusing on, you know, the good points first, and then shifting to the focus on you know, the constructive points, rather than you know, the sandwich feedback. They give the good points and then they give the areas for improvement, and then they come back to the good points and other good points. So it you know, it get distracted, that the feedback receiver focus on the good points, and then the areas for improvement, and then the good points again. Okay, so my reflection is, I pretty much prefer 2+1 from your you know, offerings or explanations.
Well done, well done. So everything in management and management, performance management changes over time, right? So the sandwich method is actually from the 1970s, 1980s. And it's not used much anymore because people don't have a good reaction to it. Maybe once upon a time people did. But with society being what it is now, people being what it is now, I won't say people are more sensitive, but I would say that people now have more agency. They're more empowered to take charge of their career. So they would like to hear, tell me what you want me to do. So 2+1 is actually based on a couple of concepts: neuro-linguistic programming and strength psychology. So if you're interested to look into that, it's being, a lot of people use this now, trainers, facilitators, because it gets a better response. I use it on my kids all the time, and they always do what I want them to do, primarily because you appreciate. And again, appreciate, you must be sincere and honest. You are not acting. So even if you have a staff member that you you really don't like, you must find something about the performance that you can say that is good. You have to find it, because if you cannot find it, therefore, I think you have to send them to HR if you cannot find anything. So in order to persuade someone, you need to find what they do well first, because, okay, I'll tell you why. Every day, like I said, people don't appreciate people. So when someone appreciates you, you take notice of that person. People who appreciate you tend to have greater influence over you than anybody else, right? So that's why sometimes we prefer one parent over the other, because one parent always scolds us, the other parent always appreciates us. So here's a tip. This works everywhere, right? It works in your marriage, it works with your children, it works with your bosses, with your colleagues. Appreciate first, but always sincere, because they can tell if you're acting, and you cannot keep it up for months, years. You actually have to find something that you really like, and then provide a suggestion for improvement. All right? Why did I spend a lot of time on that one? It's because people don't know this one very, very well. Everything else, right? It's like, say, progress mechanics. People have this in offices. They will have best employee of the month. Okay, they'll have an employee who sold the most every month. So that's what we call a leaderboard. A leaderboard tells you who is leading in their performance. Okay. Collaborative problem solving helps with people who are not so willing to work alone. They prefer to achieve together. And then level up learning with increasing challenges. This you find more in games, actual video games. So when you complete one challenge, what do you feel? You feel, oh, cool, I feel fantastic. Then level 2, then level 3. So if you look at the apps that are designed for our phone, they give you small challenges to defeat. And as you go further up, higher and higher and higher, suddenly 3 hours have passed. You don't realize that you're being led on a journey. So leveling up can be used in training. So you design your training sessions with small activities, and then you celebrate. What is important in leveling up is the celebration. So if you want your people to have long-term stamina in terms of working, you need to decide after a particular project, there must be a celebration. After a particular job well done, there must be tokens of appreciation. So there are some people who expect money, some people expect pats on the back, but the concept of leveling up from step by step is at every level they go up, they must have something, right? And organizations understand this intuitively, because they, whenever you get a promotion, sometimes you get a gift, a bottle of champagne or something like that from the company. So these are the tools, and let's talk a little bit about gamification for knowledge specifically. So we only have time to talk about 2 things, right? Number 1 is knowledge. The other one is commitment, which is the 2 important things we're looking for in our staff. So how do you use gamification for knowledge? Well, if you are a trainer or you do training, you will know what I'm talking about. Basically, the activities that you run can be categorized into 4. And these 4 tackle the 8. So I call them ACEs, ACES. You throw them into a problem-solving activity where they're forced to use their analytical skills to be able to solve a problem. Or you say, okay, I want you to find 6 words on this chart, and I'll give you only 30 seconds. So the challenge comes in because of pressure, time pressure or resource pressure. Okay, I want you to build a newspaper tower, but I'll give you only 15 pieces of newspaper and no masking tape. They go, what? No masking tape? How are we going to build this tower? I don't care, figure it out. So that's the challenge. If you do, okay, you got 15 newspapers, no masking tape, and you only have 30 seconds. What? So that's challenge and analytical. They have to figure out how to solve the problem. So when you look at this, every activity that you plan can be either a challenge activity, an energetic activity where usually it's just running around having fun, or a social activity. Okay, introduce yourself in 30 seconds. Tell people your name, tell people your job, tell people something people don't know about you. Go. Bam, 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 bam. Now, the most tiring one is an activity where it has all 4 factors involved: analytical, challenge, social, and energetic. I would not recommend you do that because it gets super confusing. All right. So, do we have any trainers here? No? Okay. So, Upenda says, too much appreciation can make anyone immune to these. That is correct. That is why you need to constantly find something new to appreciate. So this is why when you do 2 plus 1, the 1 will eventually become a strength. So if they do the 1 correctly, that becomes your next 2 plus 1. It becomes the next input for your 2. All right. Praise is different from acknowledgement. So that's why you don't say things like, "Oh, you have such beautiful handwriting." That's telling them about them. You want to tell them about their performance. So if, for example, I'll give you an example, right? Oh, your desk is very clean. Does that praise the person or does that praise the desk? It praises the desk. So you want to do something that talks about what they do, not who they are. Right? So if you say that praises the person, then you want to stay as far away from that as possible. Why? Because eventually you'll run out of things to say. But if you praise only the performance, actually I don't want to use the word praise. I do not want to use the word praise. I want to use this word. Okay? I want to use the word acknowledge or recognize. Okay? It's not enough to say good job. I want to tell you what was the good job that you did very specifically. Because I want you to continue doing this behavior. we're still at 2 plus 1, yeah? Very powerful tool, I acknowledge. Okay, so what questions do you have based on gamification for knowledge? Acknowledge, appreciate, recognize. Well done. If you have no questions, type in an N, please. Okay. So the trainers in the room know exactly what I'm talking about when we talk about this, right? Sometimes you have an energetic game that has absolutely it's just them running around, just getting the heart beating. Social activities where they have to talk to each other and helps with their communication skill. All right, let's take a look at gamification for commitment. So gamification for commitment is actually about how do you change behavior by making it interesting for them to do. And rather than talk about this, I'm going to show this to you. This is a video called The Fun Theory by Volkswagen. Who has seen this video before? If you have, please type in Y for yes. Okay, so Emily has. Anyone else? All right, I'm going to play the video for you, and I hope you get to see the message. So turn on your speakers. Let's watch it together. I hope that played well for you with no lagging. So type into the text chat. Why do you think that worked? Please tell me why do you think that worked? Okay, so Bertrand says humans like fun. Pender says unpredictability. People tend to enjoy every little thing about life. Refresh feeling by walking. Now, interesting. Did everybody take the stairs? Did everybody take the stairs? Not everybody took the stairs. 66%. It is only those people who got triggered. The human drive inside them got triggered. There are some people who actually played songs, so they could be accomplishment oriented, right? There are some people who are social influence oriented. They say, come everybody, let's try this together. Okay? So there are some activities that can capture some people some of the time, but there's no such thing as one activity that captures everything, everybody. So when you look at this from inside your organization, you have to ask yourself, okay, what do I need to plan in order to make my people more interested to change? It's because people are different. It's because people are driven differently. People enjoy music. I like the statements, right? So everybody here, a lot of people here are making what we call global statements. Humans like fun. I can tell you, I have met some people who don't like fun. People enjoy it with music. Well, people enjoy. I think what you're saying is those people enjoy music, but there are some people who don't. There are some people who are just it's not part and parcel of what they like to do. So, what does this tell you? It tells you that while people play games, while people can learn from games, but when it comes to gamification, you need to customize, you need to specify how are you going to implement this. So since this was more of an introduction, we do welcome your questions. We do welcome any specific things that you would like to know now. So please ask me your final questions before we finish up today. If you have no questions, please type in no to the text chat. If you have those questions, type in now. All right. So before we close up, there's a couple of things to do, but I would like really to hear from you because this is a new concept, relatively new, and a bit difficult to explain to people. So I hope I've done my best. I hope it got through to you. There will be we'll send you the recording. We'll send you so you can review this again. But at the same time, please ask me your questions now. If you have no questions, you can certainly get in touch with us later on to find out more. Well, I have joined it, and I know for a fact it is worth joining, especially if you are someone who would like to use it every day. Right? So, San Panit, I think you joined a little bit later or something? Okay, game-based learning versus gamification. Game-based learning requires facilitation. It requires a mentor or a coach to guide you to learn the meaning of something. But it does not directly relate to behavior. It only relates to what you get out of that game. So for example, if you play football, you get the spirit to challenge life. You get the spirit to become very, very results oriented. Okay, I see the goal, I'm going to go for the goal. But gamification talks about very specific behaviors. How do you get someone to stop slamming the door every time they come into the office? How do you get people to stop spitting on the side of the street? There's one interesting thing that they did in Pakistan. Pakistan is a country next to India, next to Bangladesh. Some of you will know where it is. There are some people who like to urinate against a wall over there. They like to urinate against a wall. So what the local authorities started doing was they started writing words in Arabic. Now, Pakistanis like myself, we're Muslims. So whenever we see something in Arabic, we automatically assume it is from scripture, it's from a holy book. So when they started writing in Arabic, people actually stopped urinating against the wall because they were not sure, is this from the Quranic script, is it from the holy book? And they managed to stop that from happening. So gamification is about changing small behaviors, whereas game-based learning is about getting people to be aware of something different. individually to learn something for themselves.